Hi, everybody. Welcome to Q the Next Leader. I'm really excited today because I'm spending some time with Robin Wilson. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the Epic BDC and the SCP Agency. Robin, we just spent some time together in Kansas City.
We did. What a great event that was. You guys put on a great event.
She's talking about Unleashed,
Oh,
which is
yes.
our annual dealer conference. It was our second year. We already have November, the dates for November 2025, Robin. So,
Yeah,
I got to get you linked up with that one.
absolutely. That was way too much fun. And not only that, just so informative and just brilliant the way everything was laid out. And I've never probably been to an event where everybody was so engaged. Everybody.
We're really fortunate because we have great integration partners and partnerships, but we also have great customers and dealerships that, they just love the capabilities that we provide. We love our dealers. It's all about making dealers win.
Right.
So, yeah, it's fun to be associated with that.
Well, it's great whenever you have those champions of your brand, right? And they're out there and they're not just using it, but they're telling everybody else, I don't know why you're not using this. They're a champion for what you do. And that's so important.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you again for your sponsorship and for being there. We really loved having you and Jess and Shasta there. So I know you've got some exciting stuff going on in your world. Why don't you tell us what's up with your world today?
Well, I'll tell you that I've been working on something for, it seems like I mean, logistically, it's only a year, right? I'm 60. So when you're 60, a year is a long time. Just like when you're 3, a year is a long time. um, so I'll take you back just a little short history lesson. When I started in automotive, I started actually at a dealership and I was the social media manager. So although, we may be known for having Epic BDC, social media is where we started, organic social, and it's my passion. Everybody goes, hey, if you could speak for 30 minutes, what would you speak on? And I'd be like, organic social all day long and the value of it. And even in the beginning, like we would go to social media marketing world, like, Gary Vaynerchuk was like my idol, anybody that I could learn from. I was just saturating everything up. When I brought it to the automotive space, one of the things that wasn't happening at the time, and if we go back in time, like for a couple of the old timers, remember like when you first started in sales and they handed you this yellow legal pad, right? And they're like, write down everybody's name and phone number of all your family members because this is gonna be your list that you start with, right? And so here's all these poor schmucks writing down their aunts and their uncles and everybody, and they're gonna hit them up and try to sell them a car. Well, we don't do business like that anymore, right? So everything that we do in our network of people is generally all on social, and that's a big generalization, but I'm telling you, it's probably more than 80% of what we look at where we engage with people, anymore. And so I started teaching salespeople how to use social. And this was in 2014, how to use social media, how to use Facebook to engage with their community of people. What's the worst thing in the world other than going to church and the guy that's next to you has shown up with a brand new vehicle and probably a brand that you sold or something that would have been comparable for him, and he didn't even know you sold cars, right? Because you didn't tell him. You thought this is a sacred place. I shouldn't mix business with pleasure. But he was a friend of yours on Facebook too and still didn't know it. And so we would teach our salespeople how to be on social media and not just posting cars that are in inventory or your sold customers, which is what they, all do. Well, then we fast forward and I had a great group of people that were doing it, and I was teaching it all over the United States. Like every dealer that was one of my clients at Social Climber Pro or SCP Agency, um, they I would automatically come in and train their salespeople. And then when I left, they would forget everything. Like they literally would forget everything and they would be back to posting pictures of their cars again and their sold customers. And I was just like, holy crap, maybe I'm just not there with them long enough. So I'm like overthinking the whole thing. So I fly out to Utah, I rent some studio space, I rent all of the training, I create all of the training videos that I can so that I can be there with them all the time. I like paid like $10,000, recorded all of this stuff, and then I loaded it on Teachable and gave it to all of my dealer partners and went, look, all of your salespeople just need to log in once a week and like go to the next section right there, and they'll remember everything that I taught them in person. And then we got to discovering that they wouldn't even log in. Like they would make it through the first module and then never come back again. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so then we get into like 2018, 2019, 2020. It's a disaster out there in the world. Like everything's crazy. Nobody needs, there's no inventory to sell, or there's no chips to move the cars, or there's no salespeople to even show up. There's not a tech to service. I mean, we've all got the PTSD from that time in our lives. And salespeople are like looking brilliant because, they're cleaning up on gross, right? Because we're in a way over MSRP gross, and salespeople look like they're geniuses. So they don't need to do any marketing. They're just showing up to sell one of the 3 vehicles that they have left on the lot. And so it was unnecessary, right? It wasn't nothing that was needed. And so when the market aligned itself, everything shifted again because we saw a whole breed of salespeople who had forgotten how to do business, who had forgotten how to promote themselves because they didn't have to. That's how short it takes us to drop the ball. And so a good friend of mine who used to own a couple of dealerships and has since sold them and had gone to work for a national sales trainer, stopped by my office last year, probably about this time. I think it was in September, actually. And he's like, Robin, we got to get back to, he goes, I see it in my classes all the time. He worked for Automax Recruiters. He's like, we need to be training them on social media again. And I'm like, I agree. I'm like, they're just so stubborn sometimes, like getting it through their head what they should do. And he goes, we got to do something to help them. And then I was at Lot Pop with Jason Rice, and he had Glenn Lundy there speaking. Glenn and I were both there speaking at his Lot Pop 20 group. And Glenn was saying the same thing right here. Your salespeople should be generating this many leads, and this is how they're going to do it. They need to be working this many leads to sell a car a day, XYZ, blah, blah, and they need to do this much on social media. And it's always dropped right there. They need to do this much on social media, and nobody tells them how, right? Nobody. Like they just say, do it. And so here's these guys going, I don't know what that means, do it. Right. And so for me, I'm a student of social media, and I know that engagement is the key to everything. That I can post a bunch of stuff out there. What I'm looking for is, what is my audience responding to? Then how do I do that? Because if I make a post, Angela, and I put it on my profile and nobody engages with anything that I do, my content will not flow into your newsfeed. It just won't come into that priceless piece of real estate where we all scroll. And so I've got to figure out within the algorithm how to get my stuff into your newsfeed, right? And so we know that there's a strategy, and it's called strategic organic content now. So SOC is what we were always looking for. It's like, what's the strategy behind it? And there has to be a good mix of engaging posts and questioning posts and this or that. There has to be a lot of stuff in there that people just want to play with, because we come to social to be entertained. Like we don't come here going, I wonder if there's a car guy on here I can find. It's not what we're doing, right? We're not doing that. And so it may be that your content pulls into my newsfeed because you had some engaging stuff that somebody I know liked, and now they think I'll be interested in it too. So with all of the knowledge that I have crammed in my head, I was like, I wonder if we could create something for salespeople that would help them, right? Be able to daily create content that would fix the algorithm so that when they finally posted that F-150, it got into somebody's newsfeed instead of just sitting there for their mom to like it, right? And so I knew it had to be simple, and I knew it had to be an app. I knew it had to be in their hand, not something they had to be at a desktop somewhere doing. And so I started working on this project last year. So we created Social Grenade, and I tried to solve every problem, every pain point that I thought I could, right? So not just do I need all of the graphics, all of the content built into this app. So they literally just have to click a category and let's go engagement. And they'll click the category engagement. They'll go out and pick one, right? Like, is it Coke or Pepsi? What is it? All of their text is written for them. They just click send to Facebook and it goes right there out there for them, right? Okay, so that'd be great, but they could have the app and then never even open it, right? So we combined that with a daily text blast that goes out to everybody who's on our platform. Hey, today would be a great day for you to go grab an engaging post and post it to your feed, right? So we've got a reminder that trips them into doing the thing. And not everything happens in the app. There may be a daily text that goes out that says, hey, today's a great day to go do a walk around video of a white SUV. And we're telling them every day in the structure of the strategy, what should come next, right? And so we did this test one time. I had a couple of salespeople I was beta testing with, and I made this beautiful post of this tattoo, right? And it just said in this beautiful font, this Gothic font, show me your ink, and this beautiful tattoo. And so I told like 3 of my salespeople, I said, I want you to make this post today, and here's what you need to say in the text of it. It needs to say, what's your next tattoo? I have an idea what mine is, but my tattoo guy and then tag your tattoo guy, thinks, but show me what your next favorite tattoo is going to be in the pictures below. And so I told like 3 of my salespeople do this. So the first guy does it, and he gets and I told him, I said, reply back to everybody. Absolutely every comment gets a response. Oh my gosh, that one's gorgeous. Oh my God, that one's cool. Do you have that one yet? Is this going to be your first set? I said, you comment back to everybody. When you get to about 40 comments, I need you to go make another post. And the next post will be, hey, we got this sweet 2021 Camaro. What do you think a payment on this you could afford would be? Right? Because now we've got this going, right? This one is already alive. People are already tagging their tattoo artists. They're dropping pictures. They're Facebook is giving this guy relevance right now. And so his next post goes out right behind that. And like within probably 20 to 30 minutes, this lady responds back and goes, what's the price on that car, Phil? I need to know the price on that right now. That's awesome. And then another lady goes, I could afford $500. Do you think a $500 payment would get me that car? Like within minutes, right? So we've baited them to play with us. And then we gave them, this is the whammy, right? So tell them what they want to know. And then you tell them what you want them to know. And so we know that the strategy works because we've tested it so many times. Before that day was over, he had over 85 comments on that post, had 2 leads in his inbox, in his messenger before that was over. And it was all because we were figuring out, will this work? And so part 1 is the content is built into the app. It connects to their Facebook and they post right there live, right? Part 2 is the daily text prompts. So part 3 is the part that is for my general managers and my dealer principals, right? So we all know, and you know this for sure, like every time you sell a dealership a new piece of software or a solution, there's always one person in the dealership that's in charge of championing it and being the guy that knows how to do it and holding everybody accountable to do their thing, right? And then that guy's so good at his job, like next month he's in the finance department and you don't have him anymore, or he's in used cars and he's just not there anymore. Like it just happens. They move around so much. And I'm like, this is a problem that happens with everybody that sells software, that we lose the guy that's in charge of making sure the people do the thing. And so we built into our process performance managers. So just like you guys have, just like LotPop has, just like any of those other big solutions out there have, we have our own performance managers. And so like Angela, if you are my dealer principal and you have 10 salespeople that are on Social Grenade, every 2 weeks, I'm going to send you a report and I'm going to go, hey, Angela, these 4 guys right here, I'm going to call them by name, are killing it. And you could probably see that in their numbers because their traffic has gone up. These 3 guys are doing at it. I'm going to get with them and get a little bit more training and get them a little bit more regular. And then these 3 guys have never logged on. I already got an appointment set with them on Friday. We're going to walk through the login again and we're going to get them rolling again. And I'll give you an update again in another couple of weeks. So then it's our job now. And then if you have any new people, Angela, you'll have to go, hang on a second. Those 2 of the 3 that you said weren't logged in, 2 of them don't work here anymore. And I've got 2 more. Let's swap them out. And I'll be fantastic. I'll get them uploaded and going. And so now we have the solution, which is how do they generate leads? We're giving them the strategic organic content to post to their newsfeed. We're giving them the daily tip reminders to go and do the thing. And now we're giving them a performance manager to be able to bring it all back together and go, look, this is how you get them. And they won't have 100% buy-in, but what if they have 50% buy-in? What does that look like for them?
Right.
And that's just the way that we get those people out there to be known, liked, and trusted before they come to the dealership. It's the only way we know to know people anymore.
Robin, this is really exciting and fascinating to me because, I love this, the thought process. I mean, you've taken all your years of experience doing social media and saying you've got to start with a post that gets people engaged, and then it kind of goes viral in a small way. But that's really all you need if you only need 1 or 2 leads a day. You don't need to reach 1 million people, right?
No. 40 is good. 80 is great.
Right.
And the thing is we've been doing organic social for dealerships for so long. We know what works. We know, like if I've got somebody, the guy's like, every time I post something, nothing works. And I'll go, not a problem. I'm going to pull a puppy post out of my pocket because kids, babies and puppies will do it every time. And I'll go, you're going to run a cutest pooch contest. You figure out what the gift card prize is. And I promise you, if you follow this right here, now we can breathe some life into your page and it's going again and it has legs. And then you don't have to worry about it. Now you just have to follow the rest of the rules. Like we have those dynamite sticks that if someone's just like, nobody's commenting on my stuff, I promise you, we're going to do this thing and it'll work.
This is great. So you mentioned Facebook. Are you also tackling LinkedIn and other platforms, or does this Facebook only for now?
Phase one is Facebook only for right now, and it has the ability to, and I'm going to tell you, any of you that think I want to go create an app, this is an easy thing to do. It ain't. It ain't. And mine is so super simple. I'm telling you, dealers and general managers, I made it so simple. I literally told my dev team, I was like, make it so simple a third grader can use it. Because we look at the myriad of people that we have, from 19-year-olds selling cars to 60-year-olds selling cars, right? I need it to be so simple. Any one of them could use it, and it's not complicated, and they don't just throw it down and go, I'm not going to mess with this, right? And so literally it is open the app, go to the category, select what category you want. And if you're an OEM dealer, I have all your OEM vehicles in there too, right? So if you're a Ford, I have every 2024 model in there, and we'll have all the 2025s in when they roll out. All of their content is in there for them. If they're selling Fords, they've got a brand new Ford F-150 image in there, and we've made them a little bit explosive, because like I don't have to keep it so pristine for the dealership, or I don't have to make them so corporate because it's a salesperson, right? So it may have some big graffiti wall behind it, or it's going to be something that stops that thumb scroll. It's not just a Ford F-150.
That is,
Yeah, we're literally going, how can we help these salespeople do what they should be doing naturally?
I love this. And I think our dealers will love it too. Anything that is going to be a low barrier to entry, low cost, easy to use, and it's going to drive leads.
For sure. For sure. And we call it what, first party leads, right? Because that's their community. That's their community. And we've got so much content in there that if you have 20 people that are salespeople at your dealership, there's so much content in there, they're not going to be duplicating stuff. Yes. And if they do, they each have different little pockets of people that know them anyway. So it won't matter.
Can you talk a little bit about the pricing model and what people can expect to pay?
Yeah. So when we roll, because we're literally going live right now. And so as we roll out between now and the end of 2024, for a dealership to have Social Grenade, it will be $1997 per month, $1,997 per month. I don't care how many salespeople you have on there. If you have 10, great. If you have 20, great. If you have 30, the price doesn't move. It stays the same. And what we've heard from our dealer partners is that for initial buy-in, like they may be ARing their salespeople for it. And then if they reach a certain level of whatever, then that's a spiff back to them. So either way, whatever. We handle all of the onboarding and all of the management for you. And then once we roll over to 2025, the permanent price will be $24.95.
So you can get on now at just under $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2025, it's going to be $2,495 a month.
Correct.
But, including a performance manager is massive, because that's the person that is going to make sure that people are actually using it at the dealership. So you're getting your money's worth. If you sell one car, it probably pays for itself.
Oh, for sure. If you're running any decent per copy, for sure. But the goal is like to elevate these salespeople, right? And so think about the cost of turnover, right? Because we're retraining them, or they're just not getting there right. And you can't get that 4 guy to become a 6 car, and that's your breakover. That covers his desk, right? Whatever that number is. And then, but what if him using social the proper way could get him those extra 2 to 3 cars a month? That would get him to where he's covering his desk now. And now you have the ability to have a little confidence in this guy, this gal, and take them to that next level, and they become somebody bigger. But that turnover of having to ditch these 4 and 5 car guys, instead of going, could I give them a tool that's really inexpensive and get them over that hump? Because, they're not going to pound the phones. They're not going to pound those orphan owners, in the CRM. They're not going to do it because they don't even have that confidence in them yet. But to be able to take even a brand newbie and go, look, let's get you out there. Let's get you on social right now. You become all of these, they all become your little marketing minions. Now they're marketing for you and for your dealership. It's amazing. We just turn them into little armies.
I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait to see it too, because I want to see it. And this is really interesting, because you start with automotive, but there's no reason you can't branch this out into other verticals.
It's already in the works. Yeah. So we've got real estate coming next, and home services, which is like roofing and solar, is what's already in the dev pipeline. And like we've got the patent has been applied for, so we've got all of those things that we had to put in place before we could actually start even having podcasts and talking about it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I want to get this out. Get this podcast out as soon as we can and start promoting it so that people can hear about what you're doing. Our dealers can hear what you're doing. The industry can hear about what you're doing. Because, I love it. And I think I want to do everything I can to help make you successful.
I love it. And we love it because it goes hand in hand. Like if you think about Jonathan Dawson, right, is trying to train salespeople on all of this exposure too. What if you had that tool to pop in there? What if Andy Elliott had that tool to pop in there, or Glenn Lundy? Any of those that are training that your people should be doing this, then this should be a solution that adds on to that. So they're training it. They're training dealers how to get more volume, but coming down to that granular level on the salespeople, there's so much that they need to know that finding an expert in the social media field that is also walked in automotive is so rare to find that I'm so glad to be able to bring that to them and go, look, I know what you should be doing. And if I sold cars tomorrow, I would bury you guys because this is what I would do.
Right. All right. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they see this podcast and they want to learn more?
Yeah, they really should just call me 417-629-8006. There's nothing I enjoy more than talking about organic social. So there, you could text me and go, "Hey, Robin, you want to chat social?" And I'm like, "Hang on, yeah, let me hang up on this guy." I want to talk to you because that's what I want to visit about is social media all the time.
Look, and I have to attest that Robin really does answer her phone because Danny and I called her just cold turkey on Monday. She didn't know whose number it was. We were FaceTiming her. She picked up while she was in a meeting with her staff. So Robin answers her phone.
I do. It's so funny because I'll look at Beverly's phone all the time, my business partner, and she'll have 190 missed messages. I'm like, how do you live like that? I can't live I have to read every message, even if it's spam. I'm reading it and getting rid of it. I have to move it off my plate.
Right.
So I do. I answer every call and I return every text.
I love it. I love it. Well, Robin, this is really exciting. I can't wait to see the app. We'll go ahead and get this podcast out as soon as possible. Is there anything else you want to tell our listeners before I let you go?
No, I'm loving that we're rolling this out, and I think we're trying to get to 100 stores between now and the end of the year. We've already got people that are like, I'm ready to go. Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? And so we had to wait until our patent attorney gave us the okay to do anything. We were ready, but we had to wait until our patent attorney gave us the okay. And I think we just got that blessing. So really just be one of my first 100 because we're gonna baby you like crazy and make sure that you guys have this because you're our proving ground.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Robin, and anyone. We usually do a write up with every one of these podcasts, so I'll include your phone number on the write up so people can find it and reach out to you if they're interested in learning more.
I love it. I love it. I thank you so much for giving me the time because it's just at that time where I'm so excited to start chatting about it.
Oh, it's great. And anything for you and your team. We really appreciate everything that you do for our dealers and for the dealership body in general. And it's just a pleasure to work with you. So thank you.
You're welcome.